The series began with Baek, who was still a child, but sat looking miserable as if she were a 60-year-old woman, and the cause of this misery was her mother, who returned home every day, totally drunk and annoying her. As soon as her father returned, she told him, "Look, if it is not too rude, when you see this woman ruining the mood, could you intervene?" Her father grabbed her mother to wash her face and sober her up from her stupor, but then he had an easier idea instead of standing at the sink. Why not go outside while it rained? He pushed her down the stairs so the rain would sober her up. Baek came out and asked, "I hope she fell on her own, right?" He replied, "She broke, so we will get a new one. Do not worry, I will get you a prettier and richer one. But if you do not obey me, I will push you too." Baek went down to her mother, who was still alive. She grabbed her leg and begged, "Help me, daughter." But Baek decided not to care and left her to die. Time passed, and the girl grew up to become a very famous and extremely beautiful actress indeed. However, she used her beauty to charm men so that they would fall in love with her, allowing her to exploit them. She had no feelings and viewed people as ladders to step on to get what she wanted. She was essentially a budding psychopath, or perhaps a full-blown one. She never killed anyone herself, but she was always the direct cause of their demise. You might ask how a psychopath became a famous actress, but ladders do more than that. To understand, we went back to 2016 when Baek was still in school on the birthday of her teacher. All the students celebrated her, but before she could blow out the candles, her husband appeared behind her and smashed the cake into her face. Speaking of smashing, will you smash the like and subscribe buttons? I might be asking too much, but your support means everything to me. Anyway, do not forget to do it and write "done" in the comments. Let us continue. After smashing the cake, he threw photos at her, showing her cheating with another man. She was summoned to the principal's office, who told her the photos had spread online and the parents were complaining. He expelled her from school. As she left the office stumbling, the seemingly kind-hearted Baek approached her, pretending to comfort her. Instead, she whispered, "How do you like my gift? Beautiful, right? Remember when you told me I had no feelings because I had no parents? I decided to put all my feelings into this gift." Just then, Song entered, who was Baek's primary target. Song was bursting with rage when she saw that Baek was 2 points ahead of her and took first place, leaving her in second. She complained to the principal that she was smarter, but the principal told her not to be. So jealous. They were both top students, and the difference came from 2 points in fine arts. Song remembered seeing Baek with the art teacher. She realized Baek succeeded through effort, but not academic effort, which annoyed her even more. She went to the classroom, sat with Baek, and asked, "Tell me, darling, what were you doing with the art teacher in his office alone?" Baek replied, "You know, Song, nosy people like you die first in movies. But remember, we are in reality." The teacher entered and announced the names of the students who qualified to enter a school competition. Kang, Baek's close friend, stood up and told the teacher that he was giving up his spot for Baek. When Song heard this, she was furious because she had a crush on Kang. The day ended, and Song's mother arrived to pick her up, noticing she was extremely irritable, and asked, "Is this all because of that girl Baek who took first place from you?" She told her about the competition. Her mother replied, "You should not worry about such trivial things, especially since I donate heavily to the school as the head of the PTA. Remember your teacher's scandal? It was your father who covered it up and resolved everything." We saw Kang heading to Baek's house, and before entering, he watched her from outside, clearly deeply in love with her. Suddenly he had childhood memories with Baek. He snapped out of it when she said, "Go home now, it is late." It was clear she had ulterior motives as she used his academic skills. Later, she found a letter in his bag from Song confessing her love. She asked Kang, "You will reply to her, right?" He replied that he was not interested, but she said, "No, leave this task to me." The next day at school, the principal told Baek she was being disqualified from the competition due to a complaint from a parent. Of course, we all knew who that was. It was Song's father. The jealous girl sat with her friends, showing off a photo of her parents and bragging about them, bragging in front of her classmates. At that time, Baek sat remembering her painful memories with her mother. Song approached her and gloated, "I heard that you were disqualified from the competition." Baek replied, "Is it true you have a crush on Kang? He gave me this letter and asked me to give it to you because he could not stand to hand it to you himself." She opened the letter and found that he wrote that he did not like her because she was unlovable and not his type at all. But before her blood could boil, her classmate came to tell her to talk to the principal, who informed her that their entire school was disqualified from the competition this year. We learned this was due to news leaking that one of the participants' parents bribed the administrators to choose participants they liked. Song got angry and went to the bathroom to call her mother, telling her, "I will find out who is behind this news, and you know what happens to anyone who crosses me." Baek entered at that moment and asked, "I wonder what happens to them?" Song realized she was the one who leaked the news. She went to the classroom and compared Baek's handwriting in her notebook with the handwriting in the letter. She realized that Baek was also the one who wrote Kang's letter. She went to her in the bathroom, splashed a bucket of water in her face, and left. Baek entered the classroom soaking wet. Kang worried worried about her and ran to wrap her in a towel and took her to the nurse. On their way, they met their classmate Jun, and it was clear there was bad blood between him and Kang. Baek looked at the headphones in his hand and told him, "Hide them, okay?" We learned they were actually stolen headphones. She made a deal with him to keep his secret in exchange for him letting her use them and doing whatever she asked. In the classroom, Jun fought with his classmate, and while chasing each other, he knocked over Song's things along with his phone. Because Song was indeed nosy as Baek had told her, she unlocked Jun's phone and searched through it. She found a chat between him and someone he named the boss. The content of the chat showed he was blackmailing people and taking their money by force. At home, Baek sat complaining to Kang about Song, saying she was doing all this because she was close to him and jealous. She told him, "I will deal with her my own way, but you will help me, right?" She looked at him with puppy eyes that charmed him and charmed us personally. Of course, he said amen before even knowing what she wanted. The next day at school, she went to meet Jun, who had indeed carried out her orders. She got close to him while thanking him, to charm him too, but he told her, "Watch out," because his body was bruised from his father's beating. She got angry at him and asked, "You will remain a pushover like this until when, huh?" He asked, "What can I do? I cannot hit my father." She said, "Why not? Defending yourself is not shameful." She slipped in a comment about how important he was to her. The jealous Song stood there listening to them. At lunchtime, Baek sat with her friends, agreeing to collect money for their teacher who was getting married. Baek told them she would contribute too, but Song came over, spilled juice on Baek's food, and told her, "No, do not pay, sweetie." Baek acted like the helpless victim and left without replying. But Song followed her and called her from Jun's phone, saying, "So you are his boss? Anyway, our teacher will not be happy when she knows you contributed to her wedding fund with stolen money from blackmailing kids." But Baek saw Kang behind them, so she decided to continue playing the victim and walked away without answering. Song was about to go after her, but Kang called out to her and confessed his admiration, saying, "You know that the one who replied to your letter was Baek, not me. As for me, I like you. Let us date, okay? But on one condition, you must not bother Baek again, because we are very close friends and her well-being matters to me." Song replied, "Oh, consider it done. I actually love her for the sake of God," and all that. On the last day, Baek met Jun and told him that Song had his lost phone and knew everything. She played the victim until he said, "I am sure you have a plan. Do not hold back. Tell me about it and I will execute it immediately." The next day at school, Baek stood next to Song while she opened her locker, pretending to congratulate her on dating Kang. She learned her locker password and sent it to Jun. The big day arrived, and Song entered the classroom, finding a message from Kang on the board asking her to come to the art room. She erased the writing and went happily. Jun entered the classroom after her and took the money the students had collected for their teacher's wedding. He went to open Song's locker and texted back that Song had left the classroom. At that time, Baek was sitting with the art teacher, pretending to be upset and venting to him. She asked him to hold her hand because she was very nervous, and he did, indeed. At that moment, Song saw them. Back in the classroom, when the students returned, they found the money envelope was missing. The first person they pointed fingers at was Song because she had been alone in the classroom. She got angry at them and emptied her bag to prove she had nothing. But Jun said, "But we want to see your locker with that beautiful lock. Is there something important inside?" She said, No, that is for privacy." He mocked, "Oh, my dear privacy," pushed her away and opened her locker. At that moment, Kang and Baek entered the classroom to watch. Jun pulled his phone and the money envelope out of her locker, and also the stolen headphones that he stole. Yes, really. Song stood unjustly accused amidst insults and accusations from the whole class. Baek looked at her and said, "Do not cry now. There is still more coming." She pointed at her while screaming, saying she was much worse than her. Since she could not exonerate herself, she decided to drag Baek down into the mud with her and said that there was a relationship between her and the art teacher. "I saw them holding hands." At that moment, their teacher entered and slapped her because she was the art teacher's fiancé whose wedding was approaching. She told her that Baek actually asked her permission before entering to see him. She asked her why she left the PE class with her friends and went up to the classroom alone, and also went to the art room without a reason. She said she was supposed to meet Kang, but when she looked at him, he told her, "I was with the captain the whole time and did not see or talk to anyone." Song was about to go crazy and asked him, "Even you?" He leaned in and whispered, "I told you Baek is a red line, but you did not listen to me." We saw that Jun uploaded a video of everything that happened in the classroom, including her theft and madness, and wrote an article stating she was the daughter of the famous lawyer, which spread widely. When the principal called her parents to inform them, it was not a good time because they were fighting over his cheating on her. Song stood there listening to all of this and left the office. Baek met her and said, "Did I not tell you that the majority, like you, are the ones who die first in movies? Do not forget that all this is because of you, and you are the one who started it." Song told her, "You think a war with me is easy? At least I have powerful parents, unlike you." "Oh, poor thing," Baek replied. "Oh, right. You do not know who our teacher was cheating on her husband with? You did not focus on the photo or what?" what? Imagine where you will be when this beautiful news spreads. The thief, daughter of the cheating lawyer. Do you think they will stay by your side after this terrible reputation? She hugged her and said, "Goodbye, my life's best target, and thank you for making school not boring for me." We went back in time and saw when Bake's mother made her steal bottles of alcohol from the shop. The next day, after her father's dark deed, the police and ambulance were at their place. Bake's father sat pretending to cry, acting heartbroken over his wife, and winked at Bake to make her act like she was, crying with him. Later, he took her to a big house and told her, "We will live here, but you must obey your stepmother so she does not kick you out." They entered, and we learned she was the mother calling for her son Kang to meet back. They went up to the room together. Beck's father spoke with his wife, telling her they would make a fortune from these videos. He planned to use his daughter by filming inappropriate videos of her and sending them to pedophiles. His wife said, "But afterwards, we will send her to an orphanage," and he agreed. All this time, Bike was listening from behind the door and crying, "You were right to become a psycho, my daughter, really." We returned to the present and saw Bike's father in a terrible state, talking on the phone with someone, saying he was looking for his daughter to get money from her. Coincidentally, Song was passing by and heard that he was Bak's father. At that time, Bak was standing with Jun, who brought her Song's notebook, in which she wrote everything about her classmates and bad things about them too. Then she received a call that her father was at her school. She ran there. At the same moment, Jun received a message from his little brother telling him to come home immediately because he was afraid of his father. At school, Song stood waiting for her friends to gloat over Bak and was ready to do anything to humiliate her, but Kang entered and winked at him, signaling he would give him money to handle him and get him to leave. When Song saw him leaving normally, she asked him, "Are you not her father?" He replied, "Anyone who lived with her under one roof is my son, obviously." Afterward, the students kept insulting Song. We saw Bake throw the notebook she held onto the ground. Her classmates picked it up and saw the bad things written about them. Kang sat in a place with her father and gave him money, telling him, "On the condition that you stay away from her forever." Kang noticed there was no concern in his heart for his daughter. He got up to greet her while she sat stunned, unable to comprehend the devil that had become her father by mistake. At that moment, the owner of an art production company entered and was very impressed with Bake. She went to her and offered her to become an actress, but she found her out of it and completely lacking passion, so she told her, "Thank you, no thanks," and left her. We returned to Jun, who arrived home to find his father beating his little brother and pointing a weapon at him. He tried to push him away and resisted him until they fell and he killed him by mistake. As for when he asked Bake how Song brought her father to the school, she told him, "Do not worry, I already took care of that matter." We saw the students grabbing Song and beating her up because of the words written about them in the notebook. We returned to Jun, who called his aunt after sending his little brother to live with them, telling her, "Take care of him and look after him," because he saw many things he should not have seen at his age. He ended the call with her, called Bake, and told her, "Rejoice, I am no longer a pushover, like you used to call me. I finished him off, and I am in front of the police station now to turn myself in." But she told him before, "You are a criminal, you are a victim. So when you go to the station, cry, add some crocodile tears, and play dumb. They will sympathize with you because you were defending your little brother." Days passed, and Bake passed the entrance. Exams for the law department she dreamed of. As for Jun, he was sentenced to 3 to 5 years. Kang went to borrow money from his grandfather to give to Bake to pay her tuition fees. His grandfather agreed on the condition that he accompany him to Japan for 3 days as his assistant. Kang agreed. We went to Bake's father, who was at Kang's mother's place, asking her where Bike lived and threatening her that he knew the location of her son's new college. We returned to Kang, who went to give the money he borrowed from his grandfather to Bake, making her happy that she would finally achieve her dream and enter the college she had wanted for a long time. When Bake returned home, she found her father waiting for her there. Before she could call the police, he beat her, demanded money, and took the money Kang gave her. He kept beating her until she was destroyed, then left her and walked away. May God destroy your house. We went back to the past when she was a child and saw the day Kang entered Bake's room and told her his temperature was high and he was sick. She told him, "Go to your mother, darling. Did I give birth to you and forget or what?" He replied. When I told her, she told me to go to sleep. So Bake made him sleep and put cold compresses on him all night to treat him. She asked him, "Are you sure, son, that this is your mother? You do not even look like her at all." He said, "No, actually I look more like my father," and brought her a family photo. I wish he hadn't. He pointed at a man and told her, "This is Dad's driver. When he traveled and left us without saying goodbye, I cried a lot because I was attached to him." Bake, the clever one, noticed that Kang looked much more like the driver than his father. The next day, Bake went to his mother and told her, "Is it right to let Kang's father travel without saying goodbye? Isn't that cruel?" With a creepy laugh, she said, "I have uncovered your secret, but Kang still knows nothing. What do you think would happen if he knew the driver was his real father?" A lovely morning blackmail. She laughed and told her, "Now you cannot send me to an orphanage, so your secret does not come out." She added, "I want some new clothes, chosen by you, because I only came with this outfit." She indeed brought her many clothes and told her to show them to Kang. He told her, "Lucky you. I wanted to go out too, but my mother never lets me go anywhere." She sat telling him how much his mother did not love him and that he should not love her because she deprived him of everything nice and was not good. "I am the only one who loves you here and cares for you." The mother was listening to all this from behind the door. She went to talk to her father and told him, "This girl is not normal. Come take her. I cannot live with her anymore." Baek came out and kept provoking her with words until she snapped, grabbed her, and started drowning her in the bathtub. Baek actually wanted this to prove to Kang that his mother was not a good woman. Kang saw her and could not believe his eyes, tears in his eyes. Baek ran out and told him, "Call the ambulance and tell them a child fell from the second floor." His mother ran after her. Baek stood on the window ledge and told her, "Take this, my dear, but do not worry. I will not die. I am very lucky like my mother. I do not die easily." She jumped. At that time, Kang called the ambulance. The next day, Baek woke up in the hospital with no bone intact, and Kang was holding her hand. She heard her father getting angry at his wife, not because of what she did, but because of how they would film the videos they wanted while she was in a cast. Kang tried to block her ears from the trash being said about her. She asked him, "Do you believe me now? Do you still love your mom?" He said, "No, I do not love her. I love only you. You are the only kind person in this house." We return to the present, Kang holding her hand the same way in the hospital after she had been in a coma for 2 days due to her father's beating. As soon as she realized she had been unconscious for 2 days, she rushed to call the college admissions office, but they informed her she was too late and someone else took her place. She was devastated about her lost dream. Later, she received a call from her classmate informing her that their graduation party was tomorrow. The next day, she went and found all the students with their parents holding bouquets while she was alone. She went to buy herself a bouquet and went up to continue her loneliness in the classroom. After the party, she left, and Kang followed her quietly. On her way, she saw a man chasing a thief until he caught and held him. At that moment, Baek looked at him with a gaze that said, "You are my second target, or rather, you are the next ladder that will get me what I want." This young man was a restaurant owner. She and Kang entered, and she asked him to hire her. He agreed. On her first day of work, she was very eye-catching with her beauty, to the point that people took photos of her and posted them online, admiring her beauty. These photos reached the owner of the production company, who wanted her to work with her. During a normal shift at the restaurant, the shift was ending, and the restaurant owner received a phone call, asking about Baek and whether she had left or not. He wondered who this rude person calling so late was. He went in and told Baek, "Come on, good girl, go home. It is dangerous and late." At that time, this rude person entered the restaurant and bullied the assistant, but the assistant managed to kick him out. As Baek was returning home, he followed her. At that time, Kang called her, but she did not answer, so he got worried and went to her house. On his way, he found her bag and phone thrown on the ground, so he took them and ran to find her. But when he arrived, he found that she was the one beating the guy up and was about to finish him off. However, she regained control at the last moment. She took her anger out on Kang and told him, "Do you know what could have happened to me now? Sorry, but what could happen to you? You are the scary one." She started charming him with her eyes and asked him, "Would you go to extremes for me?" He replied, "I would do anything for your approval. Beautiful, except killing a human being, just so you know." She told him, "Do not worry. I know you are a pushover kid. Otherwise, you would have rid me of my father who has been hurting me for a long time." She left him and walked away. He told the beggar, "I will call an ambulance for you on the condition that you do not say a word about what happened." He indeed called the ambulance because he was a well-raised man who had been challenged since he was young. Unlike our psycho girl, he took the brick she used to beat the beggar and threw it into the sea. As soon as Baek returned home, she found her father waiting for her. He took the money she left for him and stood looking at her while talking on the phone. He turned to her, grabbed her by the hair and said, "What? Are you thinking of pushing me from here, right? What if I do it to you?" He threw her to the ground and told her, "Next month, bring double the amount," then left her and walked away. Kang arrived and found her injured on her neck. He asked her, "What did he do to you?" She replied, "If you cared, you would have known on your own." Anyway, it is over. It does not matter if I get hurt, it is normal. The important thing is you stay good. You know I treat you differently from other people. He told her, "You scare me sometimes. Sometimes, not always." Anyway, he said, "I will handle it. Leave this matter to me." The next day at work, Baek went in and her manager noticed the injury on her neck and told her, "If there is anything, you must tell me. Do not worry. We are tough men. You can exploit me however you want." She heard the word exploit and thought, that is it. This is my favorite hobby. We went to Kang, who sat filming Baek's father doing his shady business. But he saw him and ran away. Kang chased him, called the police, and they got into a fight. He asked him, "How can you do this to your daughter?" He replied, "I brought her into this world to do what I want with her, and she will remain mine until the last day of her life." Kang lost his temper, grabbed a brick, and wanted to smash his head in two to relieve us of him, but his humanity stopped him. He could not. He was a psychologically sound kid, I tell you folks. Anyway, who was standing there watching our psycho Baek? The police arrived and arrested Kang because he was the one in an aggressive position. At the police station, Baek testified testified against Kang and framed him for everything he did not do. She told them he had been hiding in her house for 2 days, showed them the injury on her neck, and said he was the one who caused it. When he defended himself and told them, I have the proof of his shady business on my phone. He searched for it, but did not find it in his pocket. The officer gave it to him, but as he held it, he was sure he would not find the video he filmed. We learned that Baek, when the police arrived, found Kang's phone on the ground, deleted the video, and handed it to the police. They released Baek and her father and imprisoned Kang. As they left, she said, I have prepared a large sum for you, and I will tell you the day to come collect it. She went in to talk to Kang and told him, if I had left your failed plan, he would have been imprisoned for a while and then come out to continue his disgusting behavior. Normally, since you are not up to it, stay out of it. She left him and walked away, and acting as if she was the one upset and offended while he was calling out to her. This world is very strange. She went home thinking about her manager, her next ladder. She added another cut to her head for dramatic effect and went to work. When the manager and assistant saw her, she told them, honestly, a beggar has been watching me for a few days and following me. We had a small fight yesterday. The manager told her, that is it. From now on, I will walk you home every day. On the way, he gave her pepper spray to defend herself. Every time she looked at him, she felt, yes, indeed, he is my way out, folks. He took her home and said, what is this disgusting place you live in, daughter? It is no wonder this happens to you. You must move. He said goodbye and was about to leave when she went to enter and found a box in front of the door with a paper thrown on it written, you are next. He returned at the sound of a scream, and the beggar who was hiding came out and ran away so the manager would chase him. We learned that she was the one who made a deal with him to do this. She stood watching them from above coldly. When he came up to her, he told her, you cannot sleep here alone. She told him she called her friend to come sleep with her. He took a bat from his car and left it for her in front of the door, sending her a message to keep it for safety. Precautions are necessary too. We saw that when she was in the supermarket, making the deal with the beggar, the assistant manager was there with his friends and saw them. But because he was staggering drunk, his friends took him and left. She was at home, sitting and trashing everything, knocking over and breaking things. She sent a message saying the money would be ready at her house at PM. When she arrived at work, she found the production company owner waiting for her, offering her the job again. Baek told her she just had a family problem to resolve, after which she would think about it and contact her. At the end of the day, the manager came in to check on her. She told him, I slept at my friend's place, but when I returned in the morning, the apartment was a mess. Someone probably broke in. He told her, okay, you sleep at my apartment tonight, and I will sleep at my parents'. The assistant entered and said loudly that he saw the man with the cap who was stalking back yesterday. He was about to say he saw him with her, but Baek cut him off by screaming and pretending to be injured. They ran to her, and she said, Saad, don't you have a meeting? Focus on your work. It is better for you. At that time, her father arrived at her apartment. The manager put her in a taxi and gave the driver his home address. As soon as he left, she made the driver change route to her apartment address. She texted the manager that she would stop by her apartment just to get some missing things and then go to his house. He told her, let the taxi wait downstairs and call me immediately if anything happens. He was worried about her, but she had planned and calculated everything. As soon as she entered the house, she took a cap out of her bag. She played the victim with her father, saying, this is a gift. I always wished our relationship could be good, but oh well, it was not meant to be. Just wear this cap, a simple gift from your daughter. It is not that difficult. She wanted him to wear it so that when the manager came, he would think he was the homeless man who was stalking her. Anyway, she gave him the bag of money from the closet, but when he opened it, he found it was paper. She provoked him, saying, did you think I was a fool who would leave you money to walk away with just like that? He grabbed her and gave her a spicy beating, while she called the manager and left the line open so he could hear her being beaten and run to her. She looked at the clock, consoling herself that only 10 minutes remained to endure the beating until he arrived. While she was being pummeled, she went to pull the electricity plug so they would be in the dark. She was already battered, poor thing. But at that moment, the manager arrived and pulled him off her. However, when her father attacked him, he grabbed the bat and hit him once on the head. When he fell to the ground, the manager panicked and ran away. But Baek finished him off and kept hitting him until he died. Kang had just been released from detention and was at her house seeing what happened. She went to call the police, pretending to be hysterical over her father, crying and telling them, come, help him. When she hung up, she kept laughing. For her, the night was a celebration. She took the cap, tore it up, and threw it in the bathroom. The next day, the police arrested the manager. They went to her at the hospital to take her testimony. She, of course, said with all innocence that the restaurant owner finished off her father. At the same time, they were interrogating the manager, who said he did not know it was her father and thought he was the man stalking her because of the cap he was wearing. However, the detective told him there were no caps at all at the crime scene. At the same time, Baek denied everything he said, claiming the opposite and framing the man. When the detective asked Baek why she did not call for help for her father immediately, immediately and why so much time passed. She told him she was losing consciousness every little while due to the beating, and when she woke up, she reported it. Afterward, the detective went out with his assistant, agreeing to pin the charge on the manager. After all, the evidence pointed to him, and no one would look into someone like him, as he could not do anything. She stood up and recorded their conversation. At the same time, Kang was present and heard everything. The detective went down and took a bribe from someone, a box of vitamins, but it had money inside. Bake filmed him. On the last day, the detective went to Bake's apartment to look for any evidence condemning. At night, he found the remains of the cap in the bathroom and took them. The next day, the police came and arrested her. At the police station, they took her phone. There, she saw the assistant of the production company owner with an actress, getting her out of a case as smoothly as a knife through butter. Just like that. In the interrogation, the detective presented all accusations with evidence from the messages inside her phone. She remained calm and did not reply. When the other detective entered, she asked him to bring the female officer because she wanted to go to the bathroom. As soon as they left the interrogation room, she told her, "Can you open my mobile recordings and photos?" When the officer opened them, she heard the recording of the detective wanting to frame the manager. When she reported him, they searched his car and found that the vitamin box contained real vitamins, no money or anything. We saw that he had swapped it before being searched. He took her back to the interrogation room to let her know her plan failed and that he would stay on her tail until she was convicted alone. Later, the production company assistant visited Bike and told her she could help her easily without even needing a lawyer. She told her, "Think about it. I am with you. All this in exchange for acting with them." Back entered detention. Then we found Kang, that love-struck fool, turning himself in, admitting he committed the crime. The detective went to release Bike and told her that Kang confessed against himself. She actually has a heart too. We saw the day of the incident when Kang arrived at her apartment and found her unconscious, with her father dying beside her. He entered and hid all traces that could send her behind the sun, wiped her fingerprints from the bat, and placed his own instead. The next day, the second detective started investigating Kang's statement because all the timings were off and far from the crime. He went to him and asked why he set all this up to frame himself when he had nothing to do with it. Kang broke down and said, "The girl has lived a hard life. Enough is enough. Why are you making it hard for her? It is unfair." They took him away from the detective, who said, "This man has gone crazy. His mind is gone because of her." Oh, poor soul. We saw that Bake sought help from the production company owner, as her assistant had said. The case file was shelved and the case was closed. When she sat with her, she told her that Kang would be acquitted and the responsibility would be shifted to the poor restaurant owner. But on one condition, she must cut ties with Kang completely. She asked, "What does this have to do with my work with you?" She replied, "Because you will be a famous actress, and any word could harm your career. If anyone saw you involved with Kang, they might dig into your past, and the case could be reopened." She said, "I was going to cut ties with him anyway, so whatever." When Kang returned home, he found her, waiting for him. After all this, she told him, "You think you were protecting me? You are completely soft, and someone soft like you is useless to me. Consider this goodbye, because I am rising to the top and do not want anyone bothering me from below." We saw that she became a rising actress, appearing on every TV show and winning Best Actress awards. And luck was totally on her side. Honestly, she was a beast at acting, no doubt about it. The restaurant owner, who was rotting in prison, poor guy, saw her news and started to realize that he had been used, it seemed. After her fame grew, she was invited to a film festival and stole the spotlight with her beauty. But as she walked, she tripped on her dress and was flustered. The most famous young actor, named Hyo, saw her, went to her, held her hand, and they entered together. Everyone talked about how good they looked together. When the press asked her, "Did you ask permission from Yul before holding her boyfriend's hand?" Yul was a very famous actress, and her boyfriend was Hyo. She replied that they were like siblings and very close. So when she saw the event, she would understand and not be upset with her. Who was sitting listening to this beautiful interview? Our hero Kang, who had just returned from abroad as a very famous writer, and Jun, who finished his detention and got out. We went to Hyo. When he returned home, he was surprised by Yul waiting for him, acting all flirtatious while he could not stand her. She held his hand and said, "Is this the hand that touched Bake? Come, let me clean it for you." She is a very strange girl, looks psychologically unstable, and has skeletons in her closet. I am scared of her. He told her he was tired of this relationship and enough with the clinginess. But she told him, "I will pretend I did not hear anything and will not stop trying to win you back." Oh my dear. Dignity is crying in the corner. During filming, Yul kept annoying Bike in every way, making her redo the scene about 50 times under the pretext that she could not act and that she could not get into character because of her. The director of photography apologized to Bake and told her, "Sorry, I want you to let it slide because she is the main heroine, and if the work is delayed, we will lose millions." Bake agreed and apologized with all respect. Of course, we understood that this was the beginning of revenge, not surrender. Later, they called the company owner to complain about Yul Yul's behavior. She came to the filming location and threatened Yul with the files she kept on her, saying, "Behave yourself, or I will make you gather what is left of your career and return to your roots." Yul ran after her, begging and apologizing. Baek watched, surprised, but the assistant explained to her that the company owner had a file for every artist there, acting as the hand that hurts them. Baek remembered her own case file. The next day, Baek was getting ready for filming, and Yul came to smooth things over, asking, "I do not understand. Why do you not like me? I actually like you." Baek told her, "No, do not try to be an actress with me. We are not in front of the camera here, and I know your truth well. For example, I saw you at the police station a few years ago, and it is not necessarily that the company owner is good to me because she has a case on me like you, God forbid." As she left the studio and was in the elevator, a delivery worker got in with her, completely covered. When he got out, we realized it was Jun, remembering all their memories together, saying to himself, "I missed her, that girl." One day, Baek had a shoot, and coincidentally, Kang was in the same place. Their eyes met, and they stood staring at each other, silence speaking volumes. But his annoying mother came and pulled him away, saying, "Are you still after that brat? Did she cast a spell on you or what, son?" The Viper Yul was with them, and deduced from his mother's words that she had a relationship with Kang. His mother went to the company owner and told her that she must stop working with Baek because of her dark past, and that she could no longer stand seeing her on screens everywhere. Baek entered at that moment and told her, "Oh, what a coincidence. You are still alive." She sat talking to her manager with all obedience and kindness. When she left, she found Yul waiting for her like urgent fate, saying, "It will not be long before I know about the case against you, because the owner's office is not far." Baek got angry, but understood she was hiding her files in her office. She rode with her assistant and made her drive her to the company. At the same time, Yul was with Kang, trying to get close to him and being clingy, asking him to drive her home. At that moment, Baek arrived at the owner's office and found the safe. She tried entering passwords, but they were all wrong. Yul entered holding files and asked, "Are you looking for this?" Baek ran after her, asking her to hand over the files, but Yul said, "No, not that simply. Get on your knees and beg me a little." But she went back on her word, threw the files in her face, and said, "Apologizing will not change anything," referring to Hyo, whom she stole from her. She kept slapping her as if she were arranging a pencil case. Kang stood, watching her, understanding, as we did, that Baek's calmness meant this was part of her plan. There was a celebration held by the company for its success, and the brightest stars in it. We saw Hyo feeling sick and entering the bathroom to take his medication, but he dropped it on the floor. Baek came to him and asked, "How will you swallow these pills without water?" She left him a bottle of water and left. Yul came, clinging to Kang's arm just to annoy her, but Hyo came out and thanked Baek, and no one was annoyed except Yul. The company showcased its most prominent works of the artists, and among them, a video played showing Yul slapping Baek in the company garage. She realized that she had made a deal with her assistant to film her. The company owner came out to save the situation, saying, "Oh folks, the acting is so realistic, you would think it is real," and smoothed things over. Yul left humiliated, and Baek followed her, telling her, "If you do not want me to make the press confirm the truth of the video with the title Witness, famous actress assaults rising rookie, get down on your knees and beg me a little, or let me tell you, forget it. The only thing that matters to me is that I have something on you. If you stay out of my way, I will stay out of yours too." When she left, Baek found the waiter at the party was the same detective who took the bribe and wanted to frame her for her father's case, but was imprisoned because of her. He told her, "Does the restaurant owner whose life was ruined because of you not weigh on your conscience at all?" He threatened to expose her, then left her and walked away. Kang saw him. When he returned home, he found her waiting for him at his house. The sweetest rekindling of relationships, honestly. She was playing him with her charming eyes again, and he, poor guy, like someone under a spell, could not refuse her anything. The first thing she told him was, "Help me make Hyo fall in love with me." How is that possible? Of course, he was helpless in the matter. One day during Baek's shoot with Hyo, he asked her to go out together. She welcomed the idea very much. While they were sitting, he told her he felt she had a big secret she was hiding, and it would be okay if she shared it. To reassure her, he shared his secret, telling her, "I also rose to fame at the expense of a friend of mine. One day, I gave him a candy with nuts, knowing he was allergic to nuts. He got very sick, and I took the role instead of him. My conscience still pricks me because we are in touch, but I never confessed to him that I was the cause." When she returned home, she received a call from a detective telling her, "Come to this address, or it will not end well." She went and found a seedy nightclub, not fitting her status. Coincidentally, Hyo was there, and Jun also saw her. He saw the detective and got very angry. He told her, "Here is the detective. See Hyo? He was once a rookie actor, and he will go back to being one, and you will join him." Later, Hyo noticed her presence and asked her, "What brought you to places like this?" She told him what happened, and that an unknown number threatened her, and told her to come here. He made her get out of the car and told her, "I will handle it." Jun decided to take a step regarding this detective issue. He went to the policeman who handled Baek's case while he was in a restaurant. When he heard he was going to meet that detective, he swapped their phones or hacked his phone. Then he returned the phone, saying, "Sorry, I got confused." He took it and went to Kang to help him, and they listened to the conversation taking place between the policeman and the detective. On the last day, the three of them gathered. Kang was focused on the flirting between Baek and Jun, but as I told you, he was helpless. As for Baek, she did not care about them at all. She was focused on her main target, which was Hyo. One day, she went out to do charity work and distribute free food. Coincidentally, pure coincidence, of course, the building where she was distributing food housed Hyo's grandmother, who suffered from Alzheimer's and mistook her for her daughter, who died. She went in to sit with her. Hyo arrived and was surprised by her presence. He took her aside and asked her, "What do you want from me? And why are you getting close to me like this?" She told him, "I was distributing food because I moved to a new place with good intentions. What is wrong with you? Every time I get close, you push me away. I hear people saying you are lonely. Honestly, I used to have a huge crush on you, but now my admiration is gone after I discovered how cowardly you are, to the point that you cannot even face your past." She left him and walked back home. Kang asked her what she would do. She told him, "I decided to date Hyo." When she noticed that, he got upset and sulked. She told him, "Do not worry, I will date him for only 1 year. A quick fling, I won't be long." Hyo, on the other hand, had his mind occupied with Baek's words. He decided the next day to go to his friend, the one he climbed over, and confess the truth to him. But his friend told him, "No, my friend, I knew the candy had nuts and I ate it anyway. You are not the cause or anything. Sorry I let you live with this guilt on your conscience." Hyo got up and punched him. Then his friend told him, "Baek came to me here and made me understand to say this for your sake. That girl seems to love you very much, man." On the other side, Kang and Jun cornered the detective and threatened him that they had a file on his daughter's cases, who was using illegal substances. They told him, "Our silence in exchange for yours, and you stay away from Baek completely." Indeed, the detective went to call a journalist he had agreed with to expose Baek and told him, "I have no information regarding Baek anymore." When Jun investigated this journalist further, he found out he worked for Yul and always wrote good news about her. As for Hyo, he sat feeling that he missed Baek, so he called her and asked to meet. She immediately called Jun and had him come to her, asking for his help in her plan, which was to delay Hyo in any way while he was on his way to her. He said amen immediately and went with his motorcycle, letting Hyo hit him. He got off and called the insurance from Hyo's phone, just any delay, and that's it. On the other side, Kang was with Yul at a club because he wanted to extract any information from her to use against her. We returned to Hyo, who was running in the street because he was very late for Baek. More than an hour had passed, and he was afraid she would be upset and have left. We returned to Kang, who heard some guys opening photos of Baek and saying not nice things about her. He got angry at them and got up to hit them, but he got beaten up because he was tipsy and his head was spinning. Yul went to defend him. As for Hyo, he reached Baek but found her still waiting for him. He apologized to her for keeping her waiting in the cold. All this time, we learned that she had planned and orchestrated this whole night just to say this sentence: "I waited because I was very worried about you, and I have no problem waiting for you my whole life in the cold. The important thing is that you came." Oh, what an artist. Bravo indeed. We saw the journalist photographing this warm moment in the biting cold. We saw that Jun also interrupted the journalist while he was photographing them. As for Kang, after he was done with the hot beating, he got up, dusted himself off, and took Yul to the car. She fell asleep immediately. He saw her phone ringing, and it was the journalist. He answered without speaking. The journalist said, "What is happening between Baek and Hyo? Did he leave you for her, or what? I see them together now. Of course, you are not answering out of shock." He put her phone down and went to text Baek, letting her know the journalist knew about them. The next day, at the company, Baek sat with her manager, who told her, "Listen, choose yourself. This is just a fling and will pass." But Baek told her, "You misunderstand. Our relationship is serious. Just arrange an appointment for me to meet this troublesome journalist, and I will reach an agreement with him." Hyo arrived, and Baek went out and told the manager, "Listen, you understand now." He told her, "Look, I have already fallen for you, so do not be a killjoy. Just bless our relationship and be quiet." Baek met the journalist and told him, "Forget about working with Yul. It does not pay the bills. Work with me, and I will give you all the exclusive news about my relationship with Hyo firsthand. I will not tire you with chasing me. Here is a flash drive with the first batch of photos you will publish in high quality too." The news of Baek dating Hyo began to spread. Some criticized them, and some supported them. As she walked through the company, Baek met her assistant and told her, "Are you going out on a date or what? Good luck. Just be careful not to drink too much, because when you zone out, you say useless things." She went on the date, and we saw that Jun began to lead her on in conversation until she confessed about the old case of Yul while he was recording her. Baek met Yul at the company after Jun sent her the video. Yul grabbed Baek and asked, "You surely did not publish this video yet, right?" Baek replied, "I told you to leave me alone, but you did not listen. Deal with it now." She showed her the amount of notifications coming to her phone because of the video and told her, "I do not want to see your face on TV again. I want you to take a long break." When Baek went down, down, she told the assistant, "Did I not warn you? Sorry, I cannot work with you again without knowing what might be said about me one day. Consider this your last day at work." They officially started dating, and social media made them its content. One day, Baek was at the mall and Song saw her, working at a shop there. As soon as she saw her, the old wound opened. How? After all this cruelty, is she so famous? She never learns. Anyway, she opened her mobile and wrote an article about her, claiming she was her high school friend and wrote all her scandals. But Jun, our hacker, handled the situation. Later, Baek was feeling a bit sick at home. Hyo called to check on her and told her he would send his grandmother to sleep over with her. Late that day, she indeed went to her. Baek gave her the door code so she could come anytime. She slept next to her and told her, "Do not be upset about the news written about you. I trust you are not bad and have your reasons." Baek asked, "But everyone sees me as bad. What am I to you?" She replied, "You are a gift from my daughter who died, and you will remain my daughter no matter what happens." Baek, poor thing, was moved. She had never heard about motherly affection, not even on a cooking show. The company owner went to Hyo's house, and he confessed to her that he wanted to marry Baek and hoped she would agree. Here we saw Baek, and the restaurant owner came up behind her saying, "I see you are shocked." She told him, "No, it is the shock of joy." He asked, "Are you happy now that you got everything you wanted?" She replied, "Yes, of course, thanks to you." Then the grandmother arrived with Hyo's brother, her grandson. She was surprised that she knew him. He told her, "Yes, I know her because she used to volunteer at our prison." Baek told her, "And I know him because I worked at his restaurant during high school, and he helped me a lot." Indeed. Immediately, since there was trouble, she called Jun asking him to watch the restaurant owner to see what he was planning. The next day, the company owner called Hyo and told him that as a condition for writer Kang to sign with our company and let us film his new novel, he demanded that Baek must participate in the artwork. He hung up and sat with Baek, saying, "Let us think together what we will do." As for Kang, when he returned home, he was surprised by Baek's presence, waiting for him as usual. She told him, "Bravo, you knew how to bring me to you." He replied, "Well, more than a year passed, and you did not come back. Did you like the situation or what?" She asked. "Well, you dated Yule, and I did not say anything." He asked, "What is this? Do you have feelings like us and get jealous or what?" She told him, "That girl used to torture me, and you go and love her for me?" He said, "No, I am keeping her under my watch just to make sure she does not hurt you again." She replied, "You have changed this time." He said, "Everyone changes." He asked, "What do you see?" At that moment, Yule arrived and said, "Does Hyo know that you are here?" Baek told her, "Do whatever you want." She replied, "I will indeed do it." She went to meet Jun, who told her news about the restaurant owner, saying he was doing well and doing nothing but visiting her father's grave and doing volunteer work. So there was no worry about him. Later, she went to meet Hyo, who was celebrating her birthday. He was about to present the ring and open the topic of marriage, but he found Yule entering with Kang, making the atmosphere very spicy. She asked her, "What were you doing at night at Kang's house?" Hyo was shocked, of course, but Baek told her she was politely rejecting the role offered to her and explained her relationship with Kang to Hyo. Hyo told Yule, "Today is her birthday. I wish you would disconnect for a bit." He got up and left them, and Baek got up after him to reconcile with him. Here we saw his grandmother at Baek's house making food for her, but she dropped a plate and it broke. When she went to look for the first aid kit, she found her notebook, which Baek had actually stolen to learn more about Hyo's secrets. She called Hyo and told him she had found her lost notebook. When he hung up, Baek asked him, "What notebook is this?" He told her, "My grandmother had a notebook where she wrote her diary, and she lost it a year ago. Today, while she was preparing food for your birthday, she found the notebook at your place." Baek was shocked and remembered that she was the one who gave her the apartment password herself. Hyo told her, "I will have to travel tonight to see my brother, so stay with my grandmother." Today, she left quickly, rode with Jun, and had him drive her. As soon as she entered, she found the grandmother sitting with the notebook in front of her, saying, "You arrived." We saw that Kang also came. While he was checking on Baek with Jun, they heard a loud thud. They ran to her and were surprised to find the grandmother fallen on the stairs with Baek standing behind her. We saw the grandmother in the hospital, and Baek sat waiting for her outside. Kang saw her from afar and said to himself, "I wonder what you are praying for inside, for her to live or die?" But unfortunately, the grandmother passed away. They saw Hyo's brother, who had searched for the reason for his imprisonment, and found he was accused in the murder of Baek's father. We saw the policeman interrogating Baek. She told him she went to sleep over with her, remembering when she arrived, and the grandmother asked her, "What should I do with you after knowing you approached us on purpose? My grandson and I truly loved you, but you deceived us." Then the policeman asked her what happened before, and also after that, referring to the incident. She told him she was used to feeding the street cats and went out to feed them, and she called her to show them to her, but she probably got dizzy and fell on her own. Baek remembered when Jun told her, "Do not worry, I will handle it and check the surveillance cameras." But she told him, "No, do not do anything," and called the ambulance. We saw the restaurant owner leaving, and Hyo's brother stopped him, and they talked about his old case regarding Baek's father. He asked him about the truth of Baek, but the restaurant owner told him that Baek was the best of girls and could heal wounds. cameras. She had absolutely nothing to do with her mother's death. Baek was listening to them. When she asked him why he did that, even though it was a perfect opportunity to take revenge on her that would not happen again, he told her, "Because I feel sorry for you, daughter. Promise me you will get treated." The next day, their neighbor stopped Hyo and told him that on the day of the incident, she heard his grandmother crying loudly, and then a pretty girl came, but his grandmother kept hitting her and asking, "Why did you deceive us?" She told him that a neighbor here had installed hidden cameras that might show the incident with your grandmother. When he went to that woman, she told him the clip was on a flash drive, but your detective friend came and took it from us. Immediately after, we saw Jun go to Kang and beat him up, asking, "How could you not trust Baek and think she killed her?" He left him a flash drive and walked away. We went to Baek, who was sitting with the director of her new movie and the company owner. He told her that her relationship with Hyo would affect work because of the articles that kept coming out, and she must separate her personal and professional life. He left them and walked away. The company owner asked her, "Do you want to marry Hyo?" She replied, "No, it is over. I will actually break up with him, and you will help me, right?" She went to Hyo, who was sitting reading the love letter he wrote her, with her ring ready beside him. But she went to mock all of this with utter silliness and told him, "Here is the big surprise. I am the one who stole your grandmother's notebook to get close to you on purpose. This whole night was planned. Do you think that a relationship that lasted a year would affect me? Why is it 10 years or what? Anyway, you rest, and I will release the news of our breakup." While she was on the road, Jun noticed a car following her. He made her go while he went to see who was inside the car. But suddenly, several other cars arrived, and men got out and beat Jun to a pulp. We saw the restaurant owner at home checking on Hyo. He told her, "Just leave me for one day to move on, and I will return to the world again," and thanked her for everything she had done with him so far. When Baek called Jun to ask about the car that was following her, he told her those were journalists, hiding the whole truth from her, that he almost died. The next day, the news of their breakup spread. The company owner went to check on Hyo, but she found him committed suicide. When the news of his death was posted on the internet, fans linked it to his breakup with Baek, saying he committed suicide because of her. They held demonstrations in front of the company, wanting to get rid of Baek. As soon as they saw her entering, they threw eggs and tomatoes at her, making shakshuka. But Song appeared and defended her, taking the eggs for her. She went up with her. Baek changed clothes at her place, and Song took a bag as she was leaving, telling her, "We will consider ourselves, even until I see you again." Here we saw the company owner decide to turn against Baek and wanted to get rid of her because it had become a public demand. She went to shake hands with the journalist and gave him the case file of her father's murder, telling him, "Publish this as soon as possible, and I will give you the rest later." Baek at home remembered the day of the incident, that she spoke with the grandmother and apologized to her, saying, "I will confess the truth to Hyo." But the grandmother hugged her then and told her, "I forgive you, my daughter. Jealousy is normal. That is what mothers do, and this will remain a secret between us." She indeed went out to feed the cats, got dizzy, and fell. Because Baek was used to eating, but her hands were not used to saving, she wanted to save her but could not. In the hospital, she was praying that she would recover safely. At that time, Kang decided to play the flash drive and indeed saw that Baek was innocent and that the grandmother fell on her own. He was shocked, thinking, there is no power but in God. He could not believe she could save a human life. She usually just ruins them. We saw that after her old case was publicized by the company owner, Baek's reputation was, frankly, in ruins. The press and news all said she was fired from the production company. Baek went to the company owner and asked her, "Was it really necessary to exaggerate, ma'am? All this for Hyo?" She replied, "Your whole life would not suffice to pay for him." But Baek confronted her with the truth that he was actually suffering from depression, and she was using him for her personal benefit. She told her, "The year he lived with me cannot be compared to the 10 years he lived with you." She left her to her misery and walked away. Later, Kang went to the company owner and threatened her that if she did not return Baek to the lead role, he would withdraw his script. But he found her completely uninterested, and she advised him to stay away because her expiration date was over, and he should not expire with her. At that time, Kang's mother called Baek after she went to visit her father-in-law and was refused entry to the hospital by Kang's order. She told her she needed to talk to Kang because he was ghosting her hard and not answering her calls. She told her she was sick, on dialysis, and needed someone to donate a kidney. On top of all that, she was broke. At that moment, Kang arrived. Baek opened the speaker and said, "Oh, you said you want Kang to donate his kidney to you? Well, good. He is in front of me." And he heard. I won't have to inform him. His mother hung up. Kang told her the conversation between him and the company owner. She told him, "I am not surprised. In situations like this, one of us has to go down, either her or me." The next day, Kang took his mother to the hospital and told her, "I will donate my kidney to you and pay your debts, but on the condition that you never approach Baek again and never go to my grandfather." Later, we saw the police arrest the company owner on charges of embezzling funds and threatening artists with their secret files. We learned that the one behind this was, of course, our beautiful psycho girl. After that, Yul went to Kang's house, fed up with his neglect and lack of care for her. She yelled at him, left him, and walked away. The next day, he called Baek to let her know today was his surgery date, reassured her about himself, and hung up. He indeed donated his kidney to his mother. He is probably a good kid, I swear. At that time, Baek received a call from another production company requesting to sign a contract with her. She was surprised because of her ruined reputation. Who would want to work with her? The company manager asked her to come to his office, and they reached an agreement. At her home, Song was an unwelcome guest, sticking around by force and eating as if she were in her father's house. Later, Baek left the house. Song watched a YouTube video of Yul showing off a brand bag and its price. As soon as she heard it, she ran to Baek's closet and took the bag. On the other side, Jun was buying things and was being watched by a car. He knew he was being watched and suspected it belonged to the same people who beat him when they were following Baek. When he went to the shop where he worked and talked to the man about them, we saw someone spying on him and hearing everything he said. This person is an important and famous figure. We will know now. He is the same person watching Baek and the leader of the gang that caught Jun and beat him. This is his second persona that he hides. Here, Baek arrived at the production company manager, and he presented his offer and how she would benefit from it. In the middle of the conversation, he asked her, "Tell me, by the way, how do you know Mr. Min? Who is that?" "He is the person who insisted heavily that we sign the contract with you, and I agreed because he is a major shareholder in the company." She heard this, left, and went to him. At that time, he was in a lecture. She opened the hall door without any decorum and entered, staring at him until he finished. This is our important figure, also a psycho, but on a grand scale, boss level. After the lecture, she sat and thanked him. He approached her from the angle that he loves helping people with bad luck, and there is no luck worse than hers. He told her, "If you had psychologically sound parents, your life could have been better." She told him, "No, you have done your research on me well. We learned that." He was the one who put the company owner in prison. They set another date to meet, and she left him and walked away. Later, Min's assistant came and brought him the result of his surveillance, telling him, "There is nothing left but Kang and Jun to close her entire past file." He told him, "Leave Kang. He just had surgery. But regarding Jun, I admire him a bit, so let him depart quietly." He asked him, "How?" He replied, "The weather is cold, so keep him warm always." Later, we saw Baek signing the contract with the new production company already. On the other side, Jun and Kang met to find a lead on the gang that was watching Baek and beat him. As for Baek, she went to meet Min, who told her he was ready to reach any level for her. She just had to point. But at the same time, someone was pouring gasoline in the place where Kang and Jun were sitting and locking them in. At this moment, Min proposed marriage to Baek in exchange for all the power he would offer her, wiping her past clean with an eraser and letting her start anew. Jun smelled something, and when he went out to see what was happening, he found chaos, smoke, and a huge fire. He grabbed a chair, broke the glass, took Kang, and jumped. As for Baek, she was in a parallel universe getting married because she agreed to Min's offer, and he had already put the ring on her finger. After this mess, Kang received a call from the hospital that his grandfather, poor soul, passed away and went to God. At the funeral, Kang's mother entered and sat eating and drinking greedily as if it were a feast, not a funeral. As soon as the grandfather's lawyer entered, she stood. She dragged him by the hand and asked him about her share. As soon as she found out he left her nothing in the inheritance, she started wailing, shouting, and saying in the middle of her words that Kang was the one who was left half the inheritance, even though he was not even his blood relative, confessing that he was the driver's son. Kang was standing there, and the shock was doubled. When he reproached her, she told him she did it so he would not be poor like her, and that he lived this life thanks to her. She told him that Baek knew this truth since she was a child. At home, Song suddenly entered on Baek, alone like that, remembering what she did to her in the past, saying, "Now you must apologize to me right now." But Baek told her, "It is your stupidity that got you here. You started with me, and you knew you were no match for me." Song got angry and left seething. After all, it was not the time for anyone to reproach anyone. The next day, Kang went to reproach Baek for hiding the truth from him all this time. She told him again that she did it for his own good, and the result was there. He was living in peace and enjoying his grandfather's inheritance. He went to self-flagellate alone. As for Baek, she lived in bliss with her husband Min, servants, entourage, and a grand lifestyle. Hours later, the news of their marriage was published in the press, and Jun saw it and was emotionally wounded. As for Kang, Yul called him and met him because she was traveling abroad and would not return. She advised him for the last time to stay away from Baek and start living his life for himself. Baek was walking in her mansion, which was her marital nest, and encountered a door locked with a padlock. When the maid came and she told her to open it, she refused, saying, "No one is allowed except Mr. Min. He is the only one who enters here." When Baek said, "What? Do you not respect me or what?" the maid replied that even his ex-wife was not allowed to come here. When Min returned at night, Baek asked him to open this door for her so she could practice her role quietly inside, but he refused politely and told her, "If you cannot practice, I will help you." While they were practicing, he told her about his ex-wife, saying there came a time time when she kept telling him, "You are the one who drove me to this," and kept saying, "I will kill you. I will kill you. I did nothing at all, actually. That is why I divorced her." And she is now in a mental hospital. May God heal every patient. The next day, she was in her room, her stomach hurting, and she took a painkiller. She went to take a shower. As soon as she came out, she found a box that was not there before she went in, containing medication for stomach pain. She was very surprised or did not know who put it there and how the person knew. When Min returned and met her, he asked, "What is wrong? Are you sick or what? Your stomach seems to hurt." At that moment, anxiety took hold of her. Her eyes fell on a clock on the wall, and as she focused on it, she felt there was a camera in it. When she went to sleep, she woke up from a nightmare and went back to sleep. The next day, as she was leaving the company, Jun was there watching her from afar. She noticed him and brought him into her car, telling him she was not well and had nightmares every day. She asked him to investigate her husband Min, his ex-wife, and who was actually spying on them. Min was listening to all of this. At the end of the day, the maid brought her tea and told her, "Mr. Min insisted that you drink it, and if you do not, he will scold me." Baek refused to drink it, took it, and poured it down the sink. When he returned, at night, he found her sleeping on the sofa and kept looking at her in a way that proves my initial words to you. Psycho level 101. The next day, Baek was sitting relaxing. We saw that among the servants was Song, who could not rest and live like her parents, and stop causing trouble. She entered Baek's room, stood behind her, hiding a weapon in her hand, and attacked Baek, saying, "Why does someone like you get everything in the end and live this life?" Envy in human form. Anyway, she injured her, and they continued fighting. Baek told her, "I do not understand why you blame people for your stupidity." Song continued, saying, "Your career that you are happy about will end as soon as this beautiful face is no longer beautiful." She wanted to injure her face. At that moment, Min entered and saw them, but the sharp object hit Song's face as Baek defended herself. Her husband Min entered, took Baek, and when she woke up, we saw Kang in front of her, sitting beside her. News spread about the incident involving Song and Baek. Jun saw it and got angry. At home, Baek called Min, but he reassured her that Song was now in the mental hospital, meaning forget her. At that time, Jun had done his investigation on Min with the help of the shop owner who was with him. He told him that the hospital Song entered was the same hospital his wife was in. Jun wanted to go to this wife and talk to her, but the shop owner told him she had disappeared for a year without a trace. He gave him a flash drive with the camera recording of this hospital. When he watched it, he found the same man from Min's assistants leaving the hospital. On the other side, Kang was shopping with his mother, spoiling her a bit, with inheritance money. When they left, he met a producer who told him he read his book, but found that his writings matched the rumors spreading about. Actress Baek. Is the book inspired by reality or what? He showed him the news about Song attacking Baek in her home. Kang was surprised and told him that the book was purely fictional. He left him and walked away, then called Jun asking why he did not tell him what happened to Baek. But Jun yelled at him, saying, "If you cared, you would have known on your own. Why do you care now? Go away. Good luck to you, and I will take care of everything." At home, Baek went to her maid and asked her to make her some tea like she usually made. When she went, Baek felt the assistants were talking badly about her and started imagining that one of them wanted to attack her. But at that moment, the maid came with the tea and Baek drank it. However, she opened her eyes and found herself in her room, not knowing what brought her here or what happened. She went down again and found everything in a mess, with the assistants cleaning up food from the floor. She continued wandering around the house, finding all the doors open and broken. A maid came to her saying, "Do you really not know who did this? We saw that Baek was the one who made a mess of everything." Went to the locked door, broke in, and found photos of his wedding with his ex-wife and kept laughing like a maniac. Or rather, she was truly one of them. Her mind had indeed snapped. The maid told her, "If you feel unwell, we can go to the hospital." But she got angry at her and said, "I am fine. Do not mention that hospital again, and do not tell Min anything." The next day, she returned to work normally at the filming location. After finishing, she found Jun waiting for her. He sat with her and told her that she had called him saying something wrong was happening with Min, and she was not well. But she basically did not remember any of this happening. Hallucinations? Amnesia. Something that leads straight to the asylum. When he asked her to divorce him because he was behind all this, she told him she did not want to do that, and not after everything she had reached. Would she give it up? She kept stomping her feet on the ground. He had no choice but to comfort her and tell her he would help her as usual. The next day, she was getting ready for filming. When she saw the script, she found it had been changed. She ran to the producer and asked him who changed this script. He told her it was Min. He had set the scene for her to attack a man with a bat, the same as in her father's incident. Directly, she saw her father, of course, in front of her, and beat the actor severely. They barely pulled her off him. Min stood there very happy, applauding her. News spread that the actor was in the hospital with serious injuries after Baek attacked him for real, not acting. The cameraman yelled, "Cut, cut," but she was too immersed. Anyway, she went to her husband Min and asked him why he changed the script suddenly and why these events specifically. She learned from him that even the articles published published in the news were his doing. He told her, "Actually, darling, my first wife left me too quickly. When I saw you, I knew you would let me enjoy myself for a longer time." We learned that when she saw Kang in front of her after Song's incident, it was not Kang at all. Who was it? Just a part of the hallucinations she had reached. She told him that when she saw her mother dying in front of her and decided to leave her and walk away, she felt she had been punished ever since. Anyway, she insulted him with bad words, so he pushed her into the water. Flashing before her eyes was her wretched life tape. He called Kang and told him he needed him to come stay with her for a while because he was traveling. Kang went to her. When she saw him, she told him, "Imagine, after all this and everything I did, someone can still bring me down." She thought she had a warranty against breaking. She told him she would get rid of him, then left him and walked away. We confirmed that her mind was completely gone. She went to call Jun, crying and telling him she was not well, but he told her he would fix everything and was ready. When she asked him why he did all this for her, he said, "To be happy while I am by your side. Whenever I make things easier for you, I feel at peace." The next day came and she started to regain her senses. Today was the last day of filming for her series. She went to Min and spoke to him very sweet. He asked her, "How are you treating me like this when you are angry with me? And after those insults yesterday?" She asked, "Insults? Me insult you? May my tongue be cut off, darling, really?" He said, "Yes, in the swimming pool yesterday." "What swimming pool? Did I see you in the swimming pool yesterday? Stop joking now. Come on." He started to get scared and she made him feel like he was the one hallucinating. At that time, Jun was watching Min's assistant and followed him. He stopped him and said, "I know everything about you and I will destroy your boss and make him rot in prison." The assistant called Min and told him that Jun discovered them. Min told him to get rid of him. Jun went to watch his brother from afar as he left school, but he did not dare to even greet him, saying, "That is it. The important thing is he does not need me anymore and knows how to live alone." The shop owner called him and confirmed that he had installed the cameras everywhere he asked. Just as he was about to sit down to eat, he saw many cars outside the shop and knew it was time to execute the plan. He rode his motorcycle, making them chase him. He reached the place he wanted, and they caught him and beat him. At that time, Baek was filming her last scene. On the other side, the gang grabbed Jun to throw him from above, but he was smiling while Baek finished filming amidst the crew's applause. We saw Jun luring Min's assistant in front of the camera, making him confess that what he was doing was an order from his boss Min. He had agreed with the shop owner to control his phone remotely, and all recordings on it would be sent to him immediately, even if his phone turned off. He asked him to send them to Kang. He saw the video, and it was sent to Baek as well. Before opening it, she called Jun, but found his phone off. She was shocked and cried, remembering Min's words on the phone when he told his assistant, "Finish him off." She knew what happened to Jun. She went inside to take her time breaking down, because we had another psycho job needing to be finished. The next day at breakfast, she sat with Min and told him, "From now on, we will deal as equals because I also have something on you with evidence." She took out Jun's video and showed it to him. He asked her, "Your best friend, does he know you are using his death like this?" She replied, "He would have felt proud knowing this. He was the one who asked me to use him. Watch out for me now." She blew a kiss to his heart. Kang called her, angry at her coldness and that she did not even care about Jun's death, even though she cried for him for 5 minutes. Why this injustice? Anyway, he asked her to stop here, but she told him she would not stop now at all. He hung up and went to Min and told him, "Look, boss, I want you to leave Baek alone. Sit back, relax, and watch. I will stop her myself." Her series had already aired, succeeded, and smashed records. She became the strongest candidate for the Best Actress Award. At that time, Kang was at home gathering all the photos from the family album and throwing them in the trash. He received a message from Baek sent a message to Kang, "If you feel like helping me, call me. Otherwise, do not stand in my way." She went to the festival, where they were presenting the Best Actress Awards for this year. While they were introducing Baek as the actress who swept the art world, there was another program airing dedicated just to her, narrating her entire dark history and mental illnesses from day one. Not only that, but they conducted interviews with everyone she hurt in her life, or rather, used to achieve her personal goals. Then they called her name at the festival because she won the award. She went up to receive it and gave a speech to the audience at the peak of her happiness, as if none of this drama had happened. But at that moment, everyone wrote articles that spread on the internet, and the entire audience began to see and talk about her. When Baek finished her speech, no one applauded her because everyone was distracted by the news that was released about her. She was furious. When she went inside, she saw the program tearing her apart and saw Kang himself sitting there confessing everything he knew about her. She threw the award and ran away into the streets. Kang came to her, and she had to get in with him. He drove with her, held her hand, and told her, "So no one else gets hurt. Let us look at each other and leave it to God." The car flipped with them from the top of the bridge. It became the biggest news story. They announced Kang's death, but they said Baek disappeared. Yes, of course, folks, she does not die. What did you expect? We saw his mother reading the letter he wrote to her, saying that all his life life he could not forgive her and always wished to disappear from her life. But he decided to execute it finally. For him, this was the best revenge. She opened the photo album and did not find a single photo of him as a child. The news showed a video of her getting out of Kang's car and walking away on the road. Since then, no one found her. Later, they made a memorial box for the deceased for her, and she came herself to place flowers since no one else would bother with her. It seemed she intended to start a completely new beginning. No one understands why her energy never runs out. Anyway, we saw the day of the accident. She woke up and Kang was still alive, but she decided to act with the same style she lived by. She left him dying, got out of the car, and stood looking at him while laughing. Psychos stay alive just to make our lives miserable. Anyway, with this, the events of our series end because, of course, we are all capable of finishing it in our heads. Goodbye.